What was your introduction like to fitness or working out or dance?
Just like you, soccer was my first sport.
Okay.
I think that's the first sport for majority of second generation Americans with immigrant parents
Hmm.
because soccer is the world sport.
It's
You
the
know,
beautiful game.
yeah. And then I grew up in a predominantly black American neighborhood,
Hmm.
and I remember winter of seventh grade because in my school, high school started from seventh grade. It was just seventh to 12th,
Wow. Okay.
all
Got
in one
that.
building,
Yeah.
right? So as a junior high school in seventh grade, like I was in school with 12th graders, 11th
So
graders,
you
like
really felt
everybody.
like you were walking in hallways amongst like men and women.
Yeah, they look like giants because I was like a small, scrawny Asian kid in a black neighborhood. And it wasn't like particularly a dangerous neighborhood,
Where
but I was the minority in a minority neighborhood. And I remember in seventh grade, winter of seventh grade, and that's when, the sun sets early,
hmm
right? I was walking home. And this was actually the first time that no, second time that I walked home by myself from school. And I was walking home and I got jumped by like these like three, four guys, I think. Four guys.
hmm
And nobody was around. No one could I don't even think people knew because generally it's not like a bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it was dark too.
Streets were just
Right?
empty.
And for me to walk home I have to walk through the back streets. Like,
Mm.
and so everything was empty and I got jumped and that was the worst beating I've ever taken. Like
In life.
I got beat down.
Mm.
Um I got like my money taken, I got like all of that. Like it was like that. And the thing is that like I've gotten like mugged before,
Yeah.
right? But not to that degree.
Okay.
And it was that
It was a
day.
proper beatdown.
I mean, no, it was bad. Like I couldn't even go.
Sorry,
To,
I'm laughing.
yeah, no, it's fine. I laugh about it now too, but it was that like the next 2 days I couldn't go to school because like my face was not looking
Gotcha.
right. Like
Gotcha.
like I was sore everywhere. And
Mm.
then that third day when I did go back to school, like my grandma actually put a little bit of makeup on my face so that people wouldn't see like that I had a
The
black
bruising.
eye. Yeah,
Gotcha.
and then it was from that day that I told myself like this is never ever gonna happen to me again.
The light bulbs clicked in your head.
Yeah, I was like, this will never ever
Caught me
ever
slipping, not
happen
happening
to me
again.
again. Yeah, and so I think from that day on, I just started doing push-ups every day because I didn't even know.
Push-ups, just ready to
I didn't
slap
even.
the hell
I
out of
didn't even.
somebody.
I didn't even know how to work out at that time. Like I didn't know how to lift weights. I didn't know any of that. Yeah, so I just started doing push-ups from that day, and like I couldn't even do like 5 push-ups, but
Start with the
but
basics.
but that mentality of, yeah, that was never ever gonna happen
I
to me
believe
again. Yeah, and then so from then like I started playing more sports. I started taking like some martial arts classes and
hmm
things like that.
And how did being physically active make you feel?
It made me feel great because even in like eighth grade, my body started changing, and because my body started changing, I could see it in the mirror, and I could see that I wasn't that same guy.
Mm.
And because of that, it made me feel better. Like the first time that not even the first time, but any time that you get your ass whooped by anybody,
hmm
it really shakes your
Talk
confidence.
about it. Talk
It really
about
shakes
it.
your confidence, whether it's like you're getting beat down or like you lose a game or whatever like that. But everything has always been about like how you bounce back,
True.
right? Because everyone will fail
You
eventually,
live and you learn. No
but
losses.
you got to bounce back. And because of that, I always remember how I felt that day. So like I think like that stays with me. Like it's
hmm
still with me, and
hmm
like
It's almost like
working
you
out,
felt helpless.
yeah, and working out has become a habit since that day.
hmm
But the days that I don't even want to go, I get reminded of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can literally just go right back to that spot.
Yeah, like the days when I really don't want to go, like there's something that tells me to go. And usually when something is telling me to go like that, it brings back, it triggers back those memories from when I was in 7th grade. And I think that just always just stays with me, and I think it'll continue to stay with me.
Yeah.
And and like it's not even just with fitness, but because like that it started with fitness, that mindset is carried over into other areas.
True.
You know,
to where fitness and wellness makes sense in how you operate in your everyday life.
Yeah, I'm telling you, just like when I saw my body changing, it gave me a lot more self-confidence. And during that time, like I was going I don't want to throw this term lightly, but like I was going through some sort of depression, you know.
Yeah, if you felt it mentally, yes, you felt it.
And I even remember, even after college, like when I was going through the cycles of like a college graduate and trying to figure out my next step in life, and not having a job, and like, you know, what am I gonna do? There was a point where like things were just not going right, and I fell into a depression at that point too, and I couldn't even get out of my bed. Like I didn't even want to. Like I was just in my room for 24 hours a day for like a few days, you know. And it took everything for me to get out of bed. And that was when I was like sleeping like, I think like 14 hours a day. Yeah, and then
those deep slumbers.
Yeah, and you know when you sleep longer, you get more tired when you wake up. So it just makes you want to go
Apparently
back.
You burn more brain cells if you sleep longer.
Something like that. It just makes you lazy. It just makes you so lazy. And like I said, I didn't move, and then I barely ate. And then the few times that I did eat, I was eating terrible food, because I was just eating things that you could just pick and grab, or whatever. And it took everything for me to get out of bed and just move around, you know. And you just need to do something, like no matter what it is, just go outside, drip a little bit of sweat, you know, and then all of a sudden like you get this new energy that helps. I'm not gonna say it fully takes you out of your depression, but it helps.
Yes. The reason why I think you say it helps, and I agree, is because again it sparks back that nostalgia for you. Yeah, nostalgia is very powerful. And so if us being active bodies, and we've been so far removed from that feeling, that little glimpse of it, it reminds me of back at when I was younger, when I was really, really active. So like what you're saying, like that slow build up will eventually get you back to where you needed to be.
Yeah, and if it's something that you like I realize, like just with any sort of fitness thing, like whatever it is, I realize that as long as I'm sweating, I enjoy it. You know, like whatever causes
those endorphins.
Yeah, baby. Whatever causes me to sweat, I feel good.
So sweating. I know you are a very heavy sweater when it comes to dancing.
Not as much as you.
This is true.
Not as much as you.
But you saw the segue. I went to dancing. Yeah. So what was your introduction to dancing like, and how did it take you to the journey of when we met each other at Florida?
So dance-wise, my very first dance influence was the great Michael Jackson, the King. And to have immigrant parents, the only artists that they really knew was Prince and Michael Jackson.
Yep.
That's it, right? Maybe like status. Yeah, maybe like Beatles, you know, but like they had to be like global superstars. And my family, the favorite entertainer was Michael Jackson. And I remember the first time that I saw Michael Jackson moonwalk. Right, the very first time I saw him moonwalk, because you know
that was defying gravity.
Yeah, and the thing is that moonwalk is just essentially just back glide.
I get it, but back then he saw the Pythagorean theorem. He solved the greatest mysteries of life just within that simple step.
Yeah, and because when he does it, when other people do it, it's different. And he set it up.
Extra nuance.
Yeah,
it's the neck isolation, the body that follows it, the feet that are just traveling in opposite directions.
No, he set up that move in such a way that you only focus right on that. And I remember the first time I saw him do it, it looked like he was walking on air. It was so smooth. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want to learn how to do that. And so I was a really shy kid. Mm-hmm. And so I would only dance in my room. Okay. You know, I would have to, you know, before YouTube was out, you know, we had to download the video clips.
Put the VHS recording in the
VCR recording. Not throwback that far,
okay,
but
gotcha.
you know,
showing our age. So
when internet first came out, right?
Yeah.
We had to use LimeWire or one of those things.
True. Illegally download.
Yeah, and we downloaded certain clips, right? And I would download the Michael videos, and I would just practice those moves in my room. In the mirror. But I never ever danced outside of my room. Mm-hmm. And only like a couple of people knew that I liked to dance. And so fast forward going into college, mm-hmm. I saw during the whole like club day where you see all the different clubs.
So wait, from the time you learned from MJ till college, you really haven't performed out in front of people? Really?
No.
Wow.
I never
and I'm only surprised because of this man's caliber of dance. I used to think he was out in the streets just hustling for money.
No, never. And the thing was that like I said, I was extremely shy. So I didn't want to put myself out in front of people.
Gotcha.
I didn't want to do anything. And I think also that stemmed from when I got that beat down. You know, because before, when I was in elementary school, I was like wild. I was running around everywhere, like getting in trouble, getting hurt, like all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. But then going into 7th grade, I became extremely, extremely shy. Yeah. And then
that experience was traumatic.
Yeah, and so like I never wanted for people to see me do anything. Even in sports, honestly, I didn't apply myself in sports because I was worried about what my teammates would think. You know, could I have played if I really applied myself? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I didn't. And the thing was that like when I would play like pickup games and things like that, like I would own.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if I was playing like flag football, I didn't drop a pass.
Word.
Right? But then when I would play with teammates, I would kind of be like that last kid to run a route.
Gotcha.
You know,
it took you back to that
yeah, spot. always and because of that, like it triggered a lot, and it didn't let me dance outside of my room.
Gotcha.
But the thing is that because I was like, I'm never gonna be down again or whatever, so I started doing push-ups every single day without fail. Mm-hmm. That's how I would practice with dancing just because in the mirror by myself.
That physical activity, sweating.
Yeah. But then when I went to college, I purposely picked a college where I wouldn't know anyone, because maybe this will help me, like, you know, just circle out.
Gotcha.
Right, and branch out. Mm-hmm. And I would just dance in my room all the time. And then there were certain times when you start to get certain moves. Right, and then you know that you can do it, and it actually
you body it. It's like almost part of your signature.
And then it starts to look good.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But then. And it would be time for like a high school dance or things like that.
And you never applied these moves? What's the whole point of practicing if you're not going to play in the game?
Never. And you know, like me being in a predominantly black neighborhood, I knew all the soca songs. I knew all the reggae songs.
So you had the rhythm?
I knew all of those things.
Knew all the tunes and you did?
Yeah,
oh my God.
And then especially those times, like, you know, they had their specific dances. I knew all of those. But back in the day, it was those Sean Paul hits. I would know everything, and like all of my friends would be doing it, and I would be at the table just kind of sitting by myself.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
You had all the juice and you weren't willing to open up
but then
the sippy cup and sip out of it?
Yeah, but then when I got home, like
Please
in my
don't tell me you
room,
played the music and you just got
no, I didn't get lit by myself like that. No, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
But like I would always like instantly regret it. You know, when I got home, I would play the music, but then I would instantly regret it. I was like, maybe I should have just done it. Maybe I should have did this. But then I was worried about what other people thought. Yeah. And then now going into college, the very few friends that knew that I did like to dance, they were really pushing me to join the college dance team, whichever dance team was on campus.
Gotcha.
And so I just went and I signed up.
What year was that?
06.
Okay.
06. Yeah.
So you were on it before Dozy and I.
Yeah.
You took a hiatus and then came back.
That was in my third year.
Gotcha.
That was in the third year. Yeah. But 06 was when I just signed up and then I just went. But then even at the audition pieces were easy. And I knew I could kill it. But I didn't like go as hard because at that time the dance team was only girls and I was the only guy at the audition. So I was like, what am I doing here? You know? But then by then it was already too late. So I was like, let me just push through it and whatever. And then, you know, I'll just do whatever. And I didn't know that there were other guys on the team, right? There were like 2 upperclassmen that were on the team. I didn't know that because the audition room was only girls.
You only went off what you saw.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I had no idea. And I just did it. And during the audition, I didn't go as hard.
Which makes sense now hearing this story because knowing the dance company that we joined when we all got there, just imagine what it was when you were there by yourself, visibly in a room, and you're like thinking in your head, I'm the only male here.
Yeah, and there was a part of me that was hoping I got cut. And based on my audition, honestly, I think I should have gotten cut, but I didn't because they wanted more guys.
Of course.
But that worked out in my favor because once I started getting to know the people there, they were all such nice people. It was a judgment-free zone, and it just let me do my own thing. Was I still shy? Absolutely. Did I do everything that was in my arsenal? No, absolutely not. But that's just how it carried over
until the third season.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I mean that third year, the guys that were on the team, there was only 6 of us.
Yeah, but it seemed like
there were 6 of us, and there were like 15 to 20 girls on the team.
23, if I do remember.
Yeah, the 6 of us, we automatically clicked from the beginning. Yeah. Like that first time that we all were in the same room, like we just clicked. It worked.
Yeah,
and because of that, there were times where like if it wasn't the piece that I was in, I was just kind of off in a corner by myself, and I was just staring at the wall and, you know, doing like little things. Right?
Freestyle.
Yeah, just doing very little things, hoping that no one would notice, right?
Yes.
But then your brother would notice. He saw me, and then he would come over, and I'm like, damn. But then like he'd be like, yo, how do you do that? Or like, you know, like what? And then like I think it's like little things like that that kind of helped me to break loose a little more.
Yeah, break out.
Yeah,
yourself. Yeah. From day one till however long we all danced together, like we were always a unified group, and it showed.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you remember this either, but the last year, like my last year, right, 2010, the second semester, that was the first time that I presented my own choreography.
Yeah.
Like I never did that before.
How did that feel? And because of you, I ended up doing the same thing next year.
It was really nerve-wracking for me. I would always come up with stuff in my mind, but I never put it out there until that third year.
So let's apply.
My fourth year. I mean.
So how did it feel from the first time you taught the group, knowing that you had to literally put up your best foot forward, as you said, release my whole arsenal, and how did you feel after seeing the end result of it all?
It felt good to just get the first one out, no matter what it looked like. You know, I didn't care what it looked like after we did it, because by then, like, it's already too late. It is what it is, right? But it just felt good to just get that first one out, and because of that, it gave me a little bit more confidence to do the second one and the third one. I don't even think I would have carried dance over after college if I just didn't get that first one out.
Your first choreo that you taught. Gotcha. Gotcha. That makes sense. Now I'm hearing this, it's almost like the competitive side of you and also the creative side. So in order for you to fuel this after college, you needed to now present content.
Yeah, because the thing is that I've always been a creative guy. I loved art, but I never expressed it. I never showed it because, you know, back then, if you liked art, you were soft. So I didn't want people to see me that way. But I love doing it.
Toxic.
Yeah, I love doing it, and I realized I never had a creative outlet because I suppressed all of that. Like, I wouldn't let anyone see it.
True.
I wouldn't present it to anybody, and I was getting there was something inside that was just I was getting pent up.
That's the natural you screaming to yourself, I want out.
Yeah. And then things like dance, things like fitness, all of these things, like when I started doing these things, it helped me really, really express myself. Especially like working out. Like, people think you can't express yourself working out.
Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is that, am I a bodybuilder? No. I was trying to actually compete, but the pandemic hit and like it just kind of ruined all of that. But, you know, as a creative person, you need that outlet to de-stress, right? And so that was what working out became for me. It just became a huge stress relief. And every time I dance, every time I sweat, I feel my stress dripping down my face along with my sweat. You know, I've never left the gym unhappy. I've never left a dance practice or anything like that unhappy. I've left frustrated, you know, but I wasn't mad, I wasn't angry, I was still happy.
Exactly.
You know, because I was doing something that I love. You know,
this is true.
So I gained a new respect for fitness. When I first, like, you know, went into corporate, like, I made the excuse, I don't have time for fitness. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to eat healthy anymore. But that's not true, you know. But the thing is also, like, I was so miserable in corporate. You know, I mean, shout out to everybody that does corporate. Because I mean, I can't do it.
You can only focus on somebody. You can only focus on what sparks joy.
I was just so miserable, and I was like, why am I doing something that I don't like?
Did it bring you back to that feeling, that empty feeling that you were saying earlier in the story, of the times when you didn't feel like leaving your room, or feel like working out, or feel like eating unhealthy? Like, did that corporate lifestyle or that corporate structure bring back that same kind of energy for you?
Yes, because as a creative, I couldn't be creative, and I had nowhere to let it out. And if fitness and dance and all of that, I kept thinking to myself, like, why am I doing something that I don't like? And then so that's when, like,
that's a wellness check. That's a literally wellness check. Like, ask yourself, why are you doing things that you don't like?
I was so miserable going to work every day. I wanted to just be in my room, but I had to force myself to get up. And then as soon as work finished, I just went back home and I slept because I was so drained. I had no energy, right? And I hated it. So I quit, and then I started the year at Broadway Dance Center. And then I started feeling alive again. And I would do a whole day's worth of dancing, and I'll still have energy to hang out after because I was enjoying it. I loved it. I was sweating again. I was able to be creative again. And ever since that day, I'm doing what I love to do. I'm not going to spend another minute being miserable doing something I don't like.
You have to. And that literally goes back to what I was saying in my journey of self-rediscovery, learning things that serve you, that spark joy, and unlearning the things that don't serve you anymore. So even if that means for you a different schedule shift in your life, Instead of the 9 to 5 corporate structure, now you set yourself a 9 to 5 within that space of what fuels you, whether it's i.e. fitness, i.e. dance, i.e. acting. As long as those pillars are alive, you are able to A, be happy, B, serve, and B, like just kind of create. Yeah. Which I feel like is the underlining foundation of fitness. Is creation, whether it's mental creation, physical creation because you're sculpting your body, or emotional creation if you're able to transcend that feeling out to others so that they could feel it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And people say certain things like this all the time, but emotionally, mentally, physically, even spiritually, fitness has saved my life, you know, in all of those regards. You know, I still revert back to that 7th grade kid, right? I always thought to myself, if I didn't work out or things like that, could that happen again? Would that have happened again? And I tell myself yes.
Or I look at that now, hearing your story, I look at that situation as a metaphor. A metaphor as like, okay, if I am not going to do what serves me to be happy, life is going to just life on me.
Yeah, life is just gonna beat me down, and I am not about that. And life is just too short. Life is just too short to not do what you love to do. Life is too short for you to be miserable. People say that life is a workout in general, and there's no finish line to life until you die. No, there isn't. Right? There is no finish line. And I think that's where like this whole name kind of came from for this podcast, where it's about winning, you know. And honestly, I think you're better off losing because you realize you're losing, and then you can always bounce back. True. Rather than just being comfortable and staying right here, where you never want to leave this area because you're scared.
True. Well, I don't even believe in losing. I believe in wins and learns. Yeah, absolutely. So the times that you don't win is an opportunity for you to learn how to kind of overcome that situation.
Yeah, and I always tell myself that, a win is a W, but the L isn't a loss. It's a lesson. Because, you know, do you fail with certain things? Absolutely. But it's not a loss. You know, there's always a lesson behind it, and you come out better. And even with fitness, too, I think that's where it stemmed from. Because you can never win against weights. You cannot, because it can always get heavier.
There's an opportunity for you to be humbled.
Yeah, you will always learn a lesson with weights. You know, always, no matter what, even if you're the most strongest guy in the world, you cannot beat out weights. You know, and with those things, like, you know, learning proper form, learning proper dieting, you know, learning all of these things, like, it's helped me and my mentality and my mindset and my mental health and my just well-being in general, just to get better. And if it's not working, to find another way to do it, find a better way to do it. Sure. You know,
because there's always avenue. From what we've learned through fitness, sports, dancing, there's always avenues to get to where you want to get to.
And there's always a smarter way to do something. Right?
Your way is not my way, but we could always get to where we need to get to if you just A, trust the process, B, trust yourself within said process, and act on it.